What other biblical locations could be found in Sudan? The answers may surprise you. Hi, this is Debbie, author of Unsealed Identities, Discovering the Untold African Presence of the Bible. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. In this video, we're going to continue to explore geographical locations in the Bible based on the phonetic sound of the original names. Today, we're going to look at some other places in Sudan. We've already shown that Sennaar, Akkad, and Sukkot are there, but here are some more. Before we explore other biblical place names in Sudan, it helps to understand a little about the country today. Sudan is a large country in northeastern Africa and contains the portions of the Nile, Blue Nile, and Atbara rivers. It has a population of about 53 million people and is home to many different ethnic groups, including Sudanese Arabs, Nubians, Beja, Fur, and Nuba peoples. More than 400 languages and dialects are spoken there, but Arabic and English are the official languages. About 90% of the population is Muslim, while smaller groups are Christian or follow traditional African religions. Sudan was once the largest country in Africa, but in 2011 it split into two nations after many years of civil war. The southern region became the independent country of South Sudan, whose capital is Juba. Today, Sudan's capital is Khartoum, where the Blue Nile and White Nile rivers meet. South Sudan, the new country, has a population of about 11.5 million people, with over 60 ethnic groups, and most people being Christian or following traditional African religions. Its official language is English. Even with its modern challenges, Sudan remains one of the most important lands in ancient history. In the Bible, this region is closely connected to the land of Cush, and many ancient names still survive there today. That's why, in this series, we're exploring Sudan as a possible key to understanding forgotten biblical geography. Genesis 2:10-11 reads, "A river flowed out of Eden to water the garden, and there it divided and became four rivers." 11. The name of the first is the Pishon. It is the one that flowed around the whole land of Havila, where there is gold. Havila sounds like Hawila. Here is a place called Hawila, Sudan, along the Blue Nile. It is located in Khartoum State. Now let's move from Hawila to another name that appears throughout Scripture, Assur. Let's go to the Bible. Genesis 2:14 reads, "The sons of Shem, Elam, Asshur, Arpachshad, Lud, and Aram." According to the BibleHub.com, the Hebrew word Assur occurs 131 times. However, the majority of times it is transliterated as Assyria. Here is Asshur on an old map along the Nile River, right above the Merowe Pyramids. I was unable to find this name in this location on a modern map. Here's another candidate, Assur, Sudan. I'm not sure of what the intent of the translators was to use Assyria instead of Assur, but here are some candidates for Assyria in Sudan. Isn't this interesting? Here are Assirajia, Essireha, Assuraiha, Assereha, and Assirur. Sudan Kileb Asriya, Sudan. Now, let's look at the place that confirmed my assignment from the Lord. I had just started researching and considered many other African locations like South Africa because they also have places named after the Bible. However, those were transliterated names, and I really felt led to examine Sudan and Ethiopia more closely. I had just opened my KJV Bible and it flipped open to Isaiah 29:1, which reads, "Ah, Ariel, Ariel, the city where David encamped, add year to year, let the feasts run their round." I immediately looked up Ariel in Sudan and was shocked to see that it still existed with this name in Sudan today, and knew without a doubt that I was on the correct path. I had never noticed this verse before. Finding Ariel encouraged me to continue searching. It raised an important question. If one ancient biblical name appears to have survived in Sudan, could there be others hidden in plain sight? Here is Ariel, Sudan very close to the Atbara River. That question led me to examine another location mentioned during the return from exile, a place called Ahava. Ezra 8:31 reads, "Then we departed from the river Ahava on the 12th day of the first month to go to Jerusalem. The hand of our God was on us, and he delivered us from the hand of the enemy and from ambushes by the way. Here is a strong candidate in South Sudan, Khor Ahava. Remember that Khor means seasonal watercourse. Once again, we find the modern place name whose sound closely resembles the ancient biblical name. While phonetic similarities alone do not prove identity, they can provide important clues worth investigating. Let's continue by looking at another name that appears in the Table of Nations in Genesis chapter 10. Genesis 10:2 reads, "The sons of Japheth, Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshech, and Tiras." The phonetic sound for Javan is really Yawan. Remember that J is actually a Y and V is usually a W or B sound. Here are two locations, Khor Yawan and Jabal Yawan. Jabal or Jebel means mountain in Arabic. These custom maps are created on maptrex.com and will be linked to the video. This platform is perfect for storytellers, travel planning, and travel memories. Here is Jabal Yawan as seen on Google Earth. Feel free to pause the video when the map is orbiting to see the names that are being shown in the surrounding areas. Finally, let's examine another location that is connected directly to a major geographical feature that still exists today. Baruch 1:4 reads, "Of the king's sons, and in the hearing of the elders, and of all the people, from the lowest unto the highest, even of all them that dwelt at Babylon by the river Sudd." The Sudd is a vast swamp that is part of the White Nile's river system in South Sudan. It's shown on this image. As we continue examining ancient names preserved across Sudan and neighboring regions, a remarkable pattern begins to emerge. Names such as Hawila, Assur, Ariel, Ahava, Yawan, and Sudd may represent echoes of a much older landscape than many people realize. These similarities invite us to ask new questions and explore possibilities that have often been overlooked. Whether these names ultimately confirm ancient connections or simply preserve fragments of history, they encourage us to keep searching, keep studying, and continue unsealing identities that may have remained hidden for generations. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. And as always, thank you for joining me on this journey of discovery. Let me know what country you're watching from and what you think in the comments. Until next time.